All right, I'm here. I'm going to go over my thoughts on the newly released Super Mario Brothers movie. This has been kind of in the works for a while. It's always been weird. It was always this kind of threat that we were going to be getting a Super Mario animated movie with Chris Pratt as Mario. That came later, but we always knew it was going to be Illumination doing it. Who I don't really watch animated movies anymore because I'm a grown man, and I'm not saying that all animated movies are for kids, but most of Illumination's programming, their library of film is definitely for kids. But I'm not really familiar with Illumination. I know that most people think their movies are kind of cheap. I saw the second Minions movie and I thought it was just completely dreadful. But yeah, it was really cool to see that they really kind of rose to the challenge with this. We got in the end of 2021, we got the cast, which is on paper still very baffling, but in the movie, spoilers to my thoughts on this, very fitting, very solid casting. I think it worked all around. I don't really have any complaints with that. So I was definitely shocked and surprised with how much I enjoyed it. I guess once we started seeing more of it, I thought like, okay, I think this is in good hands. I know Miyamoto really had a lot of hand in this. Nintendo definitely was not just handing this over. The last time they did that with a Mario movie did not end well. So definitely just didn't hand it over out of nowhere, which is great. Definitely what we needed. So yeah, overall I liked the movie, and I'm gonna kind of jump into my thoughts and everything like that. And this is gonna just have spoilers. I'm just gonna talk about everything. So if you care about spoilers, there's nothing to really spoil except for maybe some Easter eggs or some fun little things in there. But there's not really much of a plot. Like, let's be real, it's Mario. So, but this is gonna be all spoilers. But I'll jump into my thoughts on the movie after a quick word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Are you using the internet without using a VPN? Whenever you're connected to an unencrypted internet network on your phone, computer, tablet, or game console, you're sending countless pieces of information all over the internet that can be seen and intercepted by all kinds of shady characters. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and it encrypts your data so that no nefarious villains claim your private information for themselves. For example, do you use public Wi-Fi without a VPN? Anyone connected to that same unencrypted Wi-Fi network could steal your information, and who knows what they'd do with it. These guys are sick. ExpressVPN uses best-in-class encryption to protect your data from hackers. Even your own internet service provider could be spying on you. I mean, would you put it past them? When you use ExpressVPN, 100% of your internet traffic is routed through their secure servers. Another great perk is that you can access streaming libraries on services like Netflix and Disney Plus that are region locked to certain parts of the world by selecting your location to a specific country. I mean, you're paying for like 10 streaming services at this point, you might as well make the most of them. To get ExpressVPN, just click the link below, and when you use my link, you'll get your first 3 months for free. Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. So yeah, Super Mario Brothers movie, a nice brisk, I think it said 92 minutes, hour and a half, man. 2 post-credit scenes, which I thought were fine. But I don't know where to start, I guess. I guess the animation, I really liked the animation. It was really nice. It looked really nice. They definitely rose to the occasion with this. I saw that second Minions movie. This is my only point of reference for Illumination. I saw the second Minions movie. It was awful. I didn't think the animation was very standout. But the animation in this is incredible. It looks really nice. Looks really good. They definitely put a lot of effort into it. I think this is their highest budget movie, so that makes sense. But they definitely put a lot of care and thought into this, how it's animated. The world, I guess, that you get to see of Mario. A more fleshed out world of Mario. You have the Mushroom Kingdom. This movie is an isekai for all everything considered. This is an isekai when you think of it. But the Mushroom Kingdom looks nice, but I really liked the real world. Mario's in Brooklyn, going back to the classic roots. So Mario's in Brooklyn, and I really like kind of what they did with that. I like the designs of the human characters where they're not like they're cartoony, but in that kind of CG style. Like, they fit in line with what you would expect humans in the Mario world to look like. You got like New Donk City where there's humans there, and those humans are kind of creepy, but also like they look like realistic real humans, and then you have like cartoony Mario. So that was always weird to me, and I really like how they got like, okay, we got cartoony characters that fit the proportions and fit how Mario would look like in real life if Mario was a real man in real life. But yeah, I liked that aspect of it. I think the characterization of the characters was really good. We don't have much characterization for Mario. There's not much to work from. And I like the Chris Pratt Mario voice. I was kind of skeptical because I'm like, Chris Pratt just kind of sounds like some dude. Mario doesn't sound like some dude. But you kind of got him doing a little bit of a Brooklyn accent. So not, not the classic wahoo yeah like Mario, but you get a little bit of that. You got the Jumpman character, which is where they put Charles Martinet, which is that's fun. I think he had to be somewhere. You can't just leave him out in the dust like that. But I like the characterization of him, of Luigi kind of being a little bit cowardly. I thought he was pretty funny. Peach, they don't really make her like this lame one note character where she is pretty much just pathetic and is always getting saved like the games for the most part until more recently. And we don't have like Mario Sunshine Peach, stuff like that. So that was good. And then yeah, we got the more supporting characters, Toad. I'm glad so I feel like every animated movie has to have the little comic relief character. And I saw that new Puss in Boots movie, which is absurdly good. It goes so hard for no reason, but they have to have the comic relief character, and it's like kind of this thing of like, all right, like I know this is a kids movie, but do we have to have this little guy? And I feel like Toad filled that, but he's not really a huge part of the movie, so it kind of just works, and like kind of just how Toad is, like how you see the Toads, where it's just a little guy. Who cares? It's just a little guy. I liked there was like this Commander Toad who had a really deep voice, and he was like the army general or something. That was pretty epic. Jack Black Bowser I think was great, really funny. Great voice for that, like a good mixture between goofy and kind of incompetent and also kind of menacing when needs to be. So I think that's what you get with Bowser. And then you got like the Kongs, Donkey Kong. You got that. I like the Cranky Kong voice was not what I was expecting. He kind of sounds, I don't know, like just an old New York man, which I kind of like that actually. I thought that we didn't give him like a generic cartoon old man voice, which I appreciated. I liked the more weird voice that they ended up giving him, even if it was a little jarring at first. I like the Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, the little gotta smoke some weed. I actually did like that. It's just kind of his normal speaking voice, but I feel like it kind of fits for Donkey Kong. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, I think it's good. And I think there are some criticisms coming from movie critics, which I understand, where it's like this thing of, I think a lot of the movie critics, we've seen the more negative reviews of this, don't really care about Mario and don't have that affinity to Mario. And I don't know if you'll like this movie if you don't have an affinity to Mario in some way. And I feel like they benefit from the fact that everyone has an affinity to Mario besides like, 90-year-olds. Everyone likes Mario. Everyone enjoys Mario. So you kind of have that built in there. But if, you see some of these reviews and they're like, yeah, this Mario fella's a little bit like Steamboat Willie. And it's like, okay, whatever you say, man. Like they're acting like Mario is like some kind of new phenomenon. But I mean, you can say like, you can make the argument like, there's no plot. And it's kind of like, okay, yeah, but Mario's not ever been really a thing with a plot. It's about, the destination and everything. It's kind of poetic there. But no, I mean, I don't know how you would make a plot for the Mario movie in a huge way like that. Like, so I think of the Sonic movies, these two Sonic movies that come out, where they have plots. From that perspective, they have plots. The first Sonic movie, it's fine. I don't really care for it very much, but I really liked the second Sonic movie. But they have plots in the sense of like, okay, why is Sonic's friend's sister-in-law getting married to some guy? Like, why do we have to be at the wedding for this? This is a Sonic movie. So stuff like that, where it's like, okay, this has a plot, but at what cost? Where Mario has a plot, it's a very simple, paper-thin plot, but it allows for the scenes that we get. It allows for the action that we get. It allows for the moments that we get. And I think it benefits more from that than having some kind of, shoehorned thing in that wouldn't really work because Mario has never had a plot, really. So something to think about there. I like how they kind of incorporate all kinds of, all eras of Mario from the, NES era to the Switch era of Mario. It really is well done, and it's not like the stupid Space Jam 2 where it's like, look guys, Rick and Morty and the Clockwork Orange rapists are teaming up, and look, you recognize Spiro Agnew and you recognize Casey Anthony, like, yeah, look guys, you know this, right? You've seen this, you know what this is, you like this, give us money now. It feels like, yeah, this is the Mario world, this would make sense. And it's always really cleverly kind of included of how they incorporate these different Mario elements and these different Mario aspects. So I really liked it. There's a lot of different references, but it's not, like I said, reference to the point of reference. It's not the classic, I clapped because I recognize that type thing. It's more of like, oh, that's really cute. He's playing, he goes home after work and he's playing NES and he's playing Kid Icarus. Like that's that, and then it's kind of a, he dies and it says I'm finished, and Mario's at this point where it's like, oh yeah, he kind of feels like he's finished. He quit his job, and he's now working, and he's not doing so well at his new job. So I mean, I like that kind of thing. Like it's like, okay, that makes sense. It makes sense for the restaurant that he goes to be Punch Out themed. It makes sense for the world map that they use to be a Mario a Mario World map that it all works together without being like, oh look guys, I'm soy facing and doing the soy Wojak look. It's like, oh, this works. I particularly liked Mario or Luigi. It was, yeah, Luigi's ringtone being the GameCube startup jingle. I really liked that. GameCube fans rise up. Cube heads, we're eating good this year. But yeah, I liked that a lot. There's all these little references that I was like, you know what, that's a lot of fun without overdoing it, and it just works. It makes sense. It fits in. And the soundtrack is probably where all the references shine. So the soundtrack is great. So there is some licensed songs. Some of them work, some of them don't. Like "Take on Me" was in there, which I was kind of like, okay. Okay. "Holding Out for a Hero" has to be played for what feels like the fifth time in a movie in the last year. Um, so some maybe less good stuff from there, but then we also get I liked they're kind of doing they're in Brooklyn and No Sleep Till Brooklyn's playing, the guitar solos going, and they're kind of running through doing some parkour, which is really clever. I know I read somewhere later that it's like a recreation of World 1-1, which is that's cute. I like that a lot. But yeah, I just think it's a good time. But the licensed music is more few and far between. There's like constant, like really well done orchestral score that incorporates a lot of leitmotifs and a lot of just elements of different Mario games. And there's, pretty much everything is touched upon in some way. Like they do a great job. Like one of the things you could do very easily, I guess, with a Mario movie is that you could make it just, oh, okay, we're going to reference Mario 1 on NES and that's pretty much it. We are not going to, or we're going to reference only the newest stuff that the little kids are going to recognize. But there's references to 64 in there. There's some references to Bowser's Fury even, which is cool. There's some musical references to the Galaxy games and Odyssey. It goes back to Mario World. It goes back to the NES games. A lot of great stuff there. They really pulled, Mario has this vast library of great classic video game music, and they really use it to like the best that they can with all that. And I appreciate that. I think that's great. There was some good humor. Like I think like the humor for the most part, like there's some obvious jokes they could have done that they didn't really do. I just thank God on that he didn't do the stupid, what if Mario ate the mushroom and the mushroom was like a drug? Like I'm so glad they didn't do jokes like that. Like I feel like the jokes, I mean, it's a kids movie, but there's some enjoyable jokes in there. There's some, jokes that are more aimed at, older fans and stuff. And then it doesn't ever stoop to kids movie level where there's fart jokes or, really bad slapstick. It's like, okay, yeah, everything, it's a through line, but at least it doesn't treat you like you're four, which is good. It treats you like maybe you're in middle school with some of the humor, I'll allow it, I guess. But yeah, I really think, that they did good with the humor. I feel like the cast is good, so they just kind of deliver it well. And yeah, I overall just think it is pretty solid in that regard as well. Like I think it's pretty funny. Now, could it be more like something like I know people like the Lego movies or something like that, or a Spider-Verse, that kind of Lord and Miller type thing where they're more, funny. I think it could have been, but at the same time, I don't I'm glad it didn't go the route of like we're making commentary on Mario and this is an earnest Mario movie for Mario fans. It's not, we're not trying to get satire Mario or be meta on the concept of this little Italian man. So I think that's good in that regard. But yeah, I think it's a perfectly funny movie, and I think that it can definitely, in the future, I think they can definitely have something great set up here. other than that, like I said, not too much of a plot, but there's some fun scenes. There's a Mario Kart. They have to use carts. I thought that might be a little bit forced in, but it was fun. It was a fun little set piece. A couple of fights. There's a Mario versus Donkey Kong fight that's cute. They use the DK rap in it, which is, you know what? If you would have told me 10 years ago that the DK rap would be in a cinematic film of anything, even saying it was in a cinematic Mario movie, I don't know if I'd buy it. They use the Mario Brothers Super Show rap, so that's fun. But yeah, it's a good time, and I like it a lot. I like, I expect more from the sequel. I think, and we're kind of going that. Like I think like this is a great start for a Mario movie. They're obviously going to turn this into a franchise. They're obviously going to make this a thing. It's doing incredibly well at the box office. I'm sure it's going to be huge. I think every kid on the planet wants to see this movie, from what it seems like. So where we can go from here, then, I mean, at the end of the movie, they tease Yoshi in the second post-credit scene. There's two post-credit scenes. And then the second one, they tease Yoshi. I think that's probably a logical step. Clearly, they show Mario's parents, so clearly we're not going the Yoshi's Island lore route of Mario and Luigi getting delivered by the storks to Yoshi's Island. So they don't have that lore implication. But I think it could be cool, and I think like they did, Bowser didn't die, but they kind of put Bowser away for the time being. And I think like a second movie would be cool if Bowser wasn't really even in it at all. Like maybe the second one they bring in Wario and Waluigi, and then they have like Yoshi, and they kind of do something like that. I think that could be fun. I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know who I would want Wario to be voiced by, but I want Willem Dafoe to voice Waluigi. I think it just works. I think it just would be great. But I feel like just that voice with that character in those proportions would be great. But other than that, like I think like there's a lot they can go. I know they've been saying there's gonna be a Donkey Kong movie, and they really did a lot of work with the Kong Island and the Kong Kingdom. I'm used to Kong Island from Donkey Kong 64. Kong Kingdom, and all the different characters. Diddy was there even for a second. Like they have like all the classic Donkey Kong Country characters, there, and they're not really touched upon, but they get great models. So I'm like, okay, I obviously this is next, probably come out in like 2 years or something. I don't know. But I know that's been talked about for a while that they're going to be doing that. But I think Mario's 2 would be a great thing to just kind of go from there. And then maybe Mario 3, they do like a Super Mario Galaxy type thing. Because they tease a lot about the galaxies. There's all kinds of different galaxies. Bring back Bowser, bring in like Rosalina and all that. I think that could be a lot of fun with being able to do something like that. So yeah, overall, really enjoyed myself. I just want to say two final notes here. First of all, seeing Dry Bones on the big screen. Guys, Dry Bones fans, we call ourselves boners. Us boners loved seeing Dry Bones on the big screen. Dry Bones is beloved. He's a classic character. He's known well by everyone, and this is his first time on the big screen. Really great to see. Not very many Goombas. There was like one Goomba like in the gulag. But we got like King Babam, but no Goomba. R.I.P. King Babam, by the way. My final point is I just want everyone to know that the message of this movie is actually really nice. I know some people will say that the message is about brotherly love and being there for one another, but the message really is that short kings can also get a hot wife. And I think that's the most important thing. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Make sure to give a check out to our sponsor down in the link. Click the link below if you want to sign up to ExpressVPN. Follow me on Twitter at ObjoGaming. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the Mario movie if you saw it, or if you're going to be seeing it soon. You probably shouldn't have watched this if you're going to be seeing it soon, but if you did, sorry I spoiled it, but you were warned, I guess. Other than that, go watch the Mario movie 5 more times. Let's get it up to $1 Marillion at the box office.